I guess I'd like you to direct you to that table over there. There's a little bit of information on TM, Transcendental Meditation, some little pamphlets on the buffet table. And I was going to tell you how the other side of this story works. Lars and Gita have discovered their journey, you might say, through life in terms of their discoveries, and he's written it in a nice book. I discovered a different kind of a path through the meanderings of the Beach Boys all over the world, and we've traveled from place to place and sang songs for just about everybody for every occasion. And one interesting event occurred in our lives when we were asked to play a very important music event in Paris, France, in 1966. We were invited to perform for the UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, which is a long way of saying the folks that help children all over the world in desperation. And so we were engaged to go over there. We did a concert, I believe, on the way over in London, England. And for some reason I heard a tap on my door, a little mystical rap on the door, and I opened it up, and there were two Beatles standing there. This was the London Hilton about, 1966, 67, as I recall. And it was George and John, and they asked if they could come in, and I said, well, sure, come on in, And they wanted to talk to me about something called TM, which is another short acronym for Transcendental Meditation. I'm going to get in front of the speaker a little better here. It's pointed away. Hey, okay. Go on this thing, jeez. I think it's a little muddy, Paul. It's a little bit muddy. Maybe you could clear it up a little wherever you are. Anyway, so they proceeded to inform me about this new meditation. And this fellow called Maharishi, who, by then people knew who Maharishi was. He was the guru the guru to the stars, I guess. And he had already taught the Beatles in that regard. In fact, they'd all gone to India. No, they hadn't gone to India yet. No, that was pre-India. Maharishi had just come out of hibernation, you might say, after a long awaited decision, and he decided he was going to share this wisdom with the Western world. So by the time we reached London, he had pretty much made his mark. He was he'd been on a few talk shows. He was on the Johnny Carson show. He had, he'd done all the American TV, but he couldn't quite get couldn't quite get respect here. People thought he was a little strange, but Maharishi thought there was another way to reach that a state of pure consciousness, and that was through this ancient Vedic tradition called Transcendental Meditation. Taught it to the Beatles, and he said, "Hey guys, hey Beatles," he said, "who do you know in America that can get that will get a lot of attention and get the kids together, or whatever, young adults, and so I can get the word out to America, because it's not taking hold there very well." And so their immediate response was to get the Beach Boys to do what they did, all over the world, basically, well, in the Western world anyway, to bring light onto this very important subject. And so that, ergo, John and George at my apartment door at the London Hilton in 1966. Well, I believe it might have been Paul and Ringo. I'm not sure. It might have been over Dennis's door doing the same thing. I'm not sure. I never really actually asked. I'll have to find out from somebody. I'll see about that later, I guess. But at any rate, We flew to Paris the following day and set up for rehearsal, you know, and there must have been 100 acts on the show. We proceeded, we followed the Red Army Choir. That's how diverse this audience was. Marlon Brando and the Tahitian dancers, a whole plane load of them flew over. They did one section. The Red Army Choir and the Beach Boys. It's quite a, and that's only 3 acts. I mean, I can't tell you, there must have been probably the Barnum and Bailey Circus was out over there too. It was a very internationally flavored event. However, as we're going on, as I recall, the first people we see after the choir left the stage, we walk out there with our stuff. The first row in the audience is Maharishi sitting in the middle of the Beatles, 2 Beatles on either side, right in the front row, staring up at us. I'm going, this is a setup. This has got to be a setup, right? There's something very, very overpowering about this experience. And so they were very patient, and they applauded like everyone else after our performance. And as we were leaving the stage that evening, Michael flew home. Mike Love flew to London. Dennis and Carl and I stayed back, and then we got a message at the hotel that Maharishi wanted to visit with us. And so naturally, we thought that was pretty cool. And it was December, very cold, very somber kind of weather, you know, very gray and cold. And we were invited to the Georges V Hotel, which is, of course, one of the great hotels in Paris. It's just like, it's where the Germans chose that hotel for their headquarters. It's the kind of place, you know, pretty heavy place. Anyway, so we go up to Maharishi's room. All the windows are open. Every window in the place is wide open. The curtains in on the weather, you know, it's snowing in the room practically. And there he is sitting on the bed in the middle of the room, this huge 4-poster with a silk, a little silk, you know, well, robe. And we had our overcoats on. But he's very content that, you know, didn't need heat, didn't need any of that stuff. He just happy to be there. And we sat around and listened to the lecture. He gave us an introductory lecture on the benefits of Transcendental Meditation, which you can get right here in Monterey if you want, without having to sit through a winter, a cold winter. You can have it in this beautiful area of California and learn this incredible technique, which is ostensibly the path inward as opposed to the path outward. What we can do is we can take 20 minutes out of your morning or evening, or both, preferably, and just close the eyes and we're given a mantra, and you say this little word, and eventually we come to a place that is rather peaceful and allows you to be introspective as opposed to out. Always going out of the body, out. We're always looking for experiences outside of our own experience, which is normal and natural, but there are times when you need to go in order to explore that other part of your being. So it's pretty cool. It's not a religion, it's a simple practice. And it really helps, especially in these trying times. And I think a couple of teachers are here today. Joanna Gesner is here from there you are, from the TM Society, I should say, local TM teacher. If you want to get a hold of Joanne, you can grab one of those brochures over here. I'm sure we'll explain how to find her. A couple of other teachers here from Big Sur, I think. I hope. And I think what we're going to do now is I'm going to invite Lars and Gita back up, and I'd like to perform a song that I wrote about Transcendental Meditation. And it resonates with what Maharishi used to tell us in the old days, in the 60s. He always had a parable from the Vedas. He would leave us with little parables like, water the root and enjoy the fruit. Water the root, enjoy the fruit. Very simple little saying, but that's what you're doing when you meditate. You water You go a little deeper inside, and you express that outside in the actual world, in real time. It has real benefits, but I love that the title of this song is called "All This Is That."